Hello, good afternoon. I feel like I'm going to cough, so this might be coming. Ugh. Anyway, I'm Jen, English with Jen 123, here on YouTube every Wednesday at this time to offer you a nice conversation class learning German. I need to learn German, learning English. Welcome to everybody who's able to join today. We have a great topic. We're doing a movie. We're doing Catch Me If You Can. Ciao e tutti, Alessio. I don't know, what's the difference between saying ciao and saying ciao e tutti? Hello to you, Yuki, and to everyone else who's here as well. Catch Me If You Can is our topic today. Hey, Carmen in Mexico, welcome, dear. And I'm just as a quick sort of, let's get an idea. Who has seen this film? Can you hear me okay as well? I have my microphone plugged in again. Hello, Lorena. Hello, Kaluna. I hope you all can hear me well. Yeah, I'm not saying ums anymore. That's it. Ciao. Ciao, hi, and a tutti is everyone. Aha. So that makes more sense. Okay, ciao a tutti. All right, ciao a tutti. Hey, everyone. Perfect. Thank you for my little Italian lesson. Hello, everyone. All right, cool. Ciao a tutti. Hello. Hey, everybody. Hey, everyone. Same in English. Saw the movie multiple times. All right. Hey, Carmen, my German Carmen, my Mexican Carmen are here. Wonderful. Hello to everyone. Ciao a tutti, and however else you say that in the multiple languages that we have here. I saw it on the weekend for the first time. It was one of those movies that was on my bucket list to see, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was well told. Carmen's seen it. I've seen it. Catch me if you can. If you've seen it, if you're stumbling across this this live stream randomly, let me know if you've seen the movie. And yeah. Otherwise, so far nobody's really answering. We'll have to wake our fingers up, I guess. And I will give you a bit of a summary because maybe people have seen it and you've not seen it in a long time. It's a pretty old movie. So this will be a nice little summary to kind of bring us all up to speed here. And if you have not seen the film, don't go away. Stay right here. We're going to do this together. There will be plenty of opportunities for you to learn vocabulary, idioms, phrasal verbs, conversation points that are related but relatable to lots of people. So do stick around. I've never seen this movie, but I studied the brief summary for this lesson. Awesome, super, Yuki. So you're on, then okay, then let's see what how your summary compares. I saw it some years ago. Okay, so here's the summary just to refresh our memories or for those who've not seen it to be able to know what's going on. Hey, Yelena, darling. Catch Me If You Can is a crime drama directed by Steven Spielberg and starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks. It tells a story of Frank Abagnale Jr., a young man, hey Margarita, a young man who pretends to be a pilot, doctor, and a lawyer, dressing and acting the part to convince people to trust him and cash fake checks, while the FBI tries to catch him. The film is based on Abagnale's memoir. I couldn't watch the movie because I don't have pay TV, but you already know the plot line. Okay, super. And now, so it's about a man who a young man. He was a teenager actually, who committed some crimes, and yeah, it's similar. Yeah, similar to the White Collar series. And I love this term here because we have in English we say white collar crimes. White collar crimes are the kind of crimes that involve fraud, tax evasion, this kind of thing. So a white collar crime, meaning a person that has a white collar, maybe a business professional is more likely to commit this crime. Maybe you can buy it as a DVD. Yeah, I had to pay for it. So I bought it on Amazon for €3.99. It's definitely worth it. I think so. It's a fun movie to watch. You haven't seen the film. Okay. So we're talking about a young man who dresses up to play different roles and he tries to earn money that way. And it's based on a true story, but there's a little asterisk there. We will get into that later on. Let's start with a poll question and let's see. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit different at this stage, and I need to hop over here. All right, there we go. Have you ever seen Catch Me If You Can? What did you think of it? So some of you have seen it, some of you haven't. You haven't seen it. So, and I guess it seems like 50% have seen this movie and 50% haven't. So after our lesson yesterday, would you say that you would watch it if you haven't already seen it? Otherwise, we have A, it's one of my favorites, B, really good, C, it was okay, and D, haven't seen it yet. While you're answering, I will remove the banner down here. If you don't already follow my account, you should. I'm here every week with a new lesson. This is a great place for you to be able to improve your English. If you can't make it to the live stream, these are always saved and you can come back to it any old time you want to. So yeah, highly recommend giving this a follow. Oops, oh gosh, I just lost, oh no. I always do this kind of thing where I push buttons and then I'm like, oh, now I'm really big and I need to reduce myself. There we go. Now I'm back in business. So A, more than 5 stars. Lorena, sorry. B, really good. D, but the trailers were really good. It is a good movie. It's a well-told story, I have to say. It's done very well. It makes you want to believe a lot. It's interesting the way that it works. For those of you who have seen it, do you have a favorite scene? What would you say? Yuki D, I haven't seen it yet, so probably not going to see it, I guess. And this is a movie that, like, I would say in maybe a year's time, in 2 years' time, I would rewatch, which is rare for me. I don't really like to rewatch a lot of films, but there's a lot of detail. The costumes are cool, the scenes are cool, the acting is amazing. So, and there's a lot to it. It's a deeper movie than what one can see on the surface. So I definitely would think that I would watch this again. If Peter would say, hey, should we watch this tonight? I wouldn't say no. Oh, the scene in front of the family's house, don't want to be a spoiler. It was so emotional. Absolutely. I love Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks and Leonardo DiCaprio too, right? A Tom Hanks film and Leonardo DiCaprio, both excellent actors. It's hard to go wrong with watching one of their movies. I agree. So Margarita B, really good. Okay, so if anybody is still writing, please go ahead and continue writing. I will read it in a minute. He was brought up in the slums by his grandmother because his parents neglected him. Maybe, that's not the part I read. But that might be the true story, that you don't see that so much in the film. In the film, he leaves his home at like the age of 17 or so. He was underage. But also the shots with the stewardesses next to him, so cool. Yeah, big player. Guy was a big player. Okay, and the interesting thing with this is, like I said, I'm calling it semi-autobiographical because a lot of it was actually not real. You know, to sell a story, this guy wrote a story about his life. He wrote a memoir and he sold it. And so some of it is a little bit of a tall tale, is a bit of an exaggeration. I think this film was about real life, yes, with a little embellishment, a little help, with some ribbons and bows to make it look prettier. Okay, so the movie, Catch Me If You Can, the book was published in 1980. And it became an immediate success. It reached #1 on the New York Times bestseller shortly after its publication. So that's amazing, right? Hey, this man wrote a book. about his life. It went onto the New York Times bestseller list. And the year that it was published, the rights for the movie were also purchased. So in 1980, the movie rights were purchased. But it took 22 years for the movie to actually be produced. And I have a little trivia question for us to take a look. And wait, hold on, I have a new way of doing this. Hold on. Ta-da! Woo-hoo. We have a new type of slide. All right, I'm such a nerd. So what do you have to say here? He was really smart, but he used this intelligence in the wrong direction. Absolutely, Yuki, exactly. I really enjoyed the score. That's the music that was specifically written for the movie. I don't remember it though. Oh, now I feel bad. Okay, I guess it was really good. So why did it take 22 years for Catch Me If You Can to become a movie? It was published in 1980, instant bestseller. The rights for the movie were purchased also in 1980. Was it A, Frank refused to sell the rights? Well, you know, that's not right. B, studios thought it was too unrealistic. C, the project kept changing studios, writers, and directors. And D, Spielberg, was too busy. So which do you think is the truth? Why did it take 22 years for the movie to actually be produced when it was purchased right away? Kaluna is saying A, question mark, or C. All right. Any other guesses? What do you think? Why it took so long? Because it was purchased right away. So A can't be right. Sorry, Kaluna. Sorry, Sarita. It was purchased right away in 1980 when it was published. Okay, a lot of people are guessing C. We have a B. We have some A's. Okay, the answer is C. The project kept changing studios and writers and directors. Everybody wanted this project. Everybody wanted to be able to make this movie, and they would do writes and rewrites and edit things, and directors then became too busy to do it, and so it changed hands so many times that it eventually Spielberg took it and said, I'm doing this. So he was the one who got to make this phenomenal movie. Hey, Tony, welcome to you in Nicaragua. Let's shift gears a bit and learn some new vocabulary words for types like Frank. Frank is a specific type of person. Let me remove this and we will move on to some vocabulary words that describe the type of man that Frank happens to be. And I will hop here and let's see. All right. 1, fugitive. M.M. Malik. Hello, welcome. Number 2, con artist. Number 3, alias. So not really a description, but yeah, what he probably does. Let's say that. Number 4, to impersonate. And our definitions are as follows. We have a false name used by a person. B, someone who tricks people for money. C, to pretend to be another person. And D, a person who is running away from the police. Which one works best for number 1? Fugitive. Fugitive. And that G is a real nice J sound. Fugitive. What can you tell me? Carmen's going with D. Who agrees with D? Kaluna does. Any other guesses? Lorena does. Okay, so 1 is absolutely D. Fugitive, a person who is running away from the police. So pretty much the majority of this movie, he is a fugitive. He's running from law and trying to not get caught. Good. Okay, Yuki, you have a new word. Fugitive. Number 2, con artist. A con artist. Earlier, I used the term. I did not use the term. Okay, no, I didn't. Never mind. Con artist. What do you have for number 2? I have several B's coming in. Anybody else want to make a guess for number 2? Exactly. Okay, so B, con artist, B, someone who tricks people for money. A con artist is really a person who tries to get money from people. We're going to talk about this word later on and try to understand where the meaning comes from. It's kind of got a cool history behind it. Number 3, alias. Alias. Serena says 3 is A. Thank you everyone for guessing. That's awesome. Number 3A, Kaluna says A. Alias. Sounds a little bit goes in the direction of alien, alias, alias. All right, everyone is saying A, so it must be A. 3, alias, a false name used by a person. So in our movie, Frank, he goes by Frank. Frank Connors, Frank. He had other names. I can't think of them right now, but multiple different names. So a con artist will use aliases so that he can commit more crimes. What can you tell me about number 4, to impersonate? Number 4, C. Serena says C, and Malik, you said something earlier. I think for 4, you said C as well. To impersonate. This Frank did a lot. C. To pretend to be another person. To impersonate. So he impersonated a flight attendant. A pilot, a doctor, a lawyer. He impersonated. He pretended to be. Okay. Moving on to a set of questions that are related to all of this. Let me pull it up for us. Slide number 4. And I am in the right spot so we can see everything, okay? All right. Oh, wait. Never mind. This is somehow weird. I've clicked the wrong one. All right. Moving on to the questions, perhaps. I will double check this now. That is strange. I don't know why that is doing that. Let's see how many questions I've got. Okay, so these, sometimes when I download things from Canva, it plays with the order. So it looks like that is the situation here. All right, here we go. Are you good at spotting lies? Let's stick with number 1 first, please. Are you good at spotting lies? If so, what do you look for? So you meet someone for the first time and we just subconsciously kind of get a feel for a person, and somebody kind of feels like they're a liar. What are some things that you're looking for? What are some things to spot to see if someone is a liar? Or maybe you say, you know what? I'm the worst at this. I believe everyone and I have to live and learn. But I think there are some definite things that we can look for to find a liar. How to not get scammed by Franks in the world. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, spotting liars first. What can you tell me? What do you look for? I think the first thing that I look for is eye contact. I think when someone is lying, then they look away a lot. They don't have direct eye contact a lot. I know that happens to also be a cultural thing. In some cultures, it's okay to look in someone's eyes and it's expected. In some cultures, it's not. So in the Western culture, typically you should look into the person you're talking to's eyes and not deviate so far away. Otherwise, what else can you tell me? Are you good at spotting lies? Are you not good at spotting lies? Sometimes like erratic eye movements, can't look at you straight in the eye. Exactly. Maybe body language. If they're fidgeting, that's a word we learned recently, where like if somebody is doing this kind of thing, or like their leg is going like this, fidgeting. I'll type it in here. Oops. Fidgeting. When someone moves around nervously, it can be a sign that they're uncomfortable and that maybe they are lying. We had that word a couple of weeks ago, fidgeting. I am good at spotting lies. It's proven that there are no physical signs for lies. Been to scientific reading for this. I can send you, oh, please do. I just feel it in their voices when they lie. Not always, but often. Yeah, I think you can feel it. I think so. Thoughts are kind of chaotic. That could also be a sign. All right, what about with number 2? Who are some classic rule breakers in fiction? Not good. Okay, sorry, Elena. Who are some classic rule breakers in fiction, and why do people admire them? Because in this movie, you don't want Frank to get away with it, with all of the stuff that he's doing, but it's fascinating. It's really fascinating, the stuff that he seems to get away with. And we do have movies where you kind of are like, the bad guy's kind of cool, right? Uh, my question then is, who are some classic rule breakers in fiction, and why do people admire them? Anyone that you can think of. Some guys who don't follow the rules, but actually we kind of like them. When a person exaggerates to impress me, yeah, that's a good sign too. Yes, when someone's very exaggerates or is too complimentary sometimes, but that's more later on what we're going to talk about with spotting a con artist. A classic person that people for number 2 often think of in like a good way, even though they're kind of a rule breaker, is Robin Hood. You break the law to help the poor. So I'm looking for characters like this in fiction that might be someone who we say, actually, that's technically not okay. Stealing is stealing, but he kind of did it. What are rule breakers? Good question. Thank you, Lorena. A person who doesn't follow the law, or a person who doesn't follow rules. So it can be social rules, which is not law, but anything where society says this is the way something is done, and they say, I don't think so. That's probably a rule breaker. Ocean's 11 was cool, right? Rule breakers, Jack Sparrow, exactly on my list. Chaotic, unpredictable, and avoids rules entirely. These are good examples. I have James Bond. He ignores bureaucracy, bends the rules so that his missions can be accomplished. So that's another classic rule breaker. Han Solo is also on my list. Carmen, ding, ding, ding. Smuggler with his own moral code. So there are sometimes in fiction, you're welcome, dear. In fiction, sometimes we have people who we're like, okay, you're a rule breaker. You're kind of like a bad boy. It's usually a man. I don't know why. Maybe Thelma and Louise could be rule breakers, or yeah, maybe they could belong to this list as well. Let's put some women in there. What about with number 3? Are there any rules that you have no problem breaking? Maybe also Zorro, yes. So are there any rules you have no problems breaking? So this could be rules like crossing the street when it's red and you're like, nobody's around. There's not a car. I'm going. No problem. I'm one of those. It can also be things where it's like society things where people say, oh, you shouldn't wear white after or before May 1st. And you're like, I don't care. I'm wearing white. Any kind of rules that you have no problems breaking. So speeding. Yuki, have you got a lead foot? We say that when you drive too fast, your foot is heavy like lead and you have a lead foot. After midnight, I walk across a red light, but just when I don't see any cars. Yes, that makes sense, right? Any other rules that you can think of that you might, break? You might not have a problem breaking, because sometimes there are these things, fashion rules, societal rules. Yeah. If not, we will slowly move on. Patrick Swayze in the film The Last Wave. Ooh, I loved that movie. That was so good. That would be a good movie for us to review. That was such a good movie. That was really cool. Okay. If anybody's still writing, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, just to kind of keep things flowing, because I never know if anybody is writing or not, then I will go ahead and continue on here. And we are going to cover some idioms. We've not had any idioms yet, so let's do that now. And let me add our idioms. I hope this is going to be correct. That was vocab. Yes, this looks good. And I am fine where I am. I do not need to move. I have something funky going on with my hair today. I don't know. It's doing what it wants. I am not so brave. I usually follow the rules. And there are rules that are important to keep, right? Oh my goodness, what is going on with this slide? Ah, no. Okay, what happened here? All right, let me make myself really small. There we go. And now we can see this better. Okay, that's strange. I didn't move anything from last week. Try once more. Nope, not working. All right. Where was that little one? There we go. Ta-da. Okay. Breaking no screen before bed, time rule every day. Yeah, okay, exactly. Crossing the street on a red light is a typical one. I have a bit of trouble breaking the rules. I don't mind following rules, especially when they make sense, but sometimes rules don't make sense. Sometimes it seems sort of like, why do we have to do this? And I think crossing the street on a red light when it's nighttime, when nobody's around, no cars, body language talk. I'm not sure. I'm not so creative like Ray. No, I'm not brave enough, not creative enough, not smart enough. I think he had to be a certain level of intelligence to be able to get away with the stuff that he did. Okay, so we have our idioms here. Talk your way out of something. Be on the run. Not trust someone farther than you can throw them. And 4, pull the wool over someone's eyes. And I'm curious to hear how many of these are new. These are all really good ones. Number 2, probably you won't use very often, but the other ones we use a lot in English, a lot. So I'm really happy to introduce these to you. If you don't already know them, then it's a great time to learn these now. Our definitions are here. To trick someone so they don't know the truth. B, to escape trouble by speaking cleverly. C, to trust someone very little or not at all. D, to hide from the police or authorities. Which one do you think makes the most sense for talk your way out of something? What can you tell me? Which one of these makes the most sense for talk your way out of something? A, B, C, or D? What do you think? And some people have a gift of this. This is a gift, I think. A, B, C, or D. And how many of these are new? Let me know that as well. Maybe all of them you know already. That would be fantastic. Of course, I always love to have at least 2 in there that you don't know. A, okay, so Yuki, you're guessing A, question mark. Okay, so, all right. Any other guesses? And you can guess, it's not about being right, it's just about trying. So even if you don't know, no worries. All of those are new. Okay, cool, because these are really good ones. These are good to know. Okay, Lorena's going with A2. Okay, all right. So the answer for number 1 is B, to escape trouble by speaking clearly. We all know someone who never gets in trouble because they're able to talk their way out of it. They're able to get away with it because they know the right words. They say that all of those are new. Okay, cool. Okay, good. I would say be on the run is one that's kind of like, you don't really need to know whatever. But all the other ones are ones we really use in English a lot to talk about things like this. Talk your way out of something. Oh, he can talk his way out of debt. He can talk his way out of murder. He could talk his way out of something. He can talk his way out of getting parking tickets. I've seen before, I saw when I was a kid or a teen, there was a guy and he talked his way out of getting a speeding ticket because he convinced the police officer that he really had to go to the bathroom, and he didn't. So, as someone who can talk their way out of something, talk your way out of anything, you will also hear that guy can talk his way out of anything, is another expression, same. Number 2, be on the run. This should be kind of easy, I'm guessing, I hope. 1 was be. Talk your way out of something. You're able to use words to get out of trouble. Kaluna saying 2 is D. Who agrees with Kaluna? 2, what can you tell me? All right, let's go with Kaluna, to be on the run. 2D, Yuki says D as well. 2D, to hide from the police or authorities. So the entire movie, pretty much, Frank is on the run. He's trying to hide from the police and come up with new disguises. He is on the run. Number 3, to not trust someone farther than you can throw them. I can't trust him farther than I can throw him. What does that mean? To not trust someone farther than you can throw them. 3 is C. Kaluna saying C. Any other guesses? To not trust someone farther than you can throw them. And Marguerite's going with C. And so Malik is going with C. Everyone's going with C, exactly. And I think this is so visual. This is a really good idiom because it's so darn visual. And C, to trust someone little or not at all. You know, I wouldn't trust him. I don't trust him farther than I can throw him. Meaning, like, you have to physically pick someone up and about as far as you can throw that person. That's how much you trust them. So you do not trust them at all. And we all know people that we cannot trust farther than we can throw them. There's people in our life, well, hopefully not. Maybe we don't. I should speak for myself. All right, number 4, pull the wool over someone's eyes. 1 was B, 2 is D, 3 is C. 4, what can you tell me? Lorena's going with A, which is the most logical answer, Kaluna too. A, to trick someone so that they don't know the truth. He pulled the wool over my eyes, and I was not able to see that he was trying to sell me something that didn't work for me. To pull the wool over someone's eyes. These are all idioms that people really use. I hope that they're clear. I will try to post these. I've not been posting these slides because I feel like nobody really cares so much about them, but I will try to remember to post this one especially, since all of these are new for you, because these are good ones to know. I mean, I'm glad you don't know them because it shows that you don't live in a world full of deception, that you need to use them, but they can come in handy. When you're trying to express something in a way that's maybe a little bit softer. Oh, I wouldn't trust him farther than I can throw him. Maybe, you know, be careful, that kind of thing. Idioms, yeah. So our idioms here, let's look at the first ones. I think we have another set as well. All right, I will post those as a review. I do hope you come back and take a look at them and to review them because they are rather useful. Moving on to our next point. And some of us have the gift of the gab, which means that you have the ability to speak easily and confidently. We had this earlier with to be able to talk your way out of something. You have the gift of the gab. Let me write it here. The gift of the gab. Another nice little idiom, gift, the gift of the gab. The gift of, not gag, gab, G-A-B, gift of the gab. You're able to speak easily, your words flow fluidly, it's not a problem. And this is my banner question for us about that. All right. Have you ever had to talk your way out of something and what happened? Like I gave you the example of this guy that I knew when I was younger. He was able to talk his way out of getting a police ticket or getting a speeding ticket because he convinced the policeman that he had to go to the bathroom very badly. And they believed him, he didn't get a ticket. So have you ever had to talk your way out of something? What happened? Are you able to do that kind of thing? Do you have the gift of the gab? Let me know. You can say yes, you can say no, you can give me an example. I don't think I can do this. I'm not very good at this. I think if I'm guilty of something, I'm just guilty of it. And I'm just like, okay, give me my punishment. I'm not very good at defending myself. I think a lot of lawyers have the gift of the gab and are able to talk their way out of things. I don't have that kind of brain. No, I haven't, Yuki says. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else have a situation, maybe something funny, not something so serious that you were able to talk your way out of? I definitely am not able to do this. That's for sure. And just to pop this up again while you may or may not be answering, the gift of the gab, this idiom here, comes from gab is an old word that means talk or chatter, dating back several centuries in English. Most likely it came from Irish or Scottish. So the gift of the gab means literally the gift of talking. It's often used positively when someone's a great speaker, but you can also sometimes use this negatively, like someone is able to manipulate things. So it can be both positive and negative. All right. And so far, nobody has any experiences. If you were writing your experience, feel free to continue. I would love to hear who out there is a natural lawyer inside and able to get themselves out of situation. I could, yeah, no, I'd be the worst lawyer, the worst one. I mean, he's guilty and he should go to jail. And I know it would not be a good thing. I would not have any clients. All right. If you're writing, continue, no problem. I'm moving on. I'm not sure how to answer this poll question myself, but I want to share this one with you. Let me pull it up for you. We have a poll question, and I'm curious to hear what you have to say. Because like I said, in this movie, Frank poses as a pilot, a doctor. He poses as all kinds of things. My slides are all out of order. I think it's this. I hope it's this. I need to hop over to here. Yes. So I had to take care of a cat, and she could go outside. I should leave the balcony door open. But when her mom asked how the cat is doing, she was doing well. I opened the door, etc., and she said that I should have not done so. But the sister told me but the sister told me she told me already I should not tell her mom. Ooh, oops. Yes, on faculty, I don't have a bus ticket. Okay, I'm not sure. So they wanted me to lie. I said I knew it was my fault, even though it wasn't. They did not tell me. Aha, okay. And we have this later on as a question too, because these tricky things can pop up sometimes in our life. All right, here's our poll question. Frank poses as a pilot, a doctor, a lawyer. Which would be the hardest to fake today? Because imagine when he did this, actually, I think it was in the 60s, late or the 70s, the early 70s or so. So a long time ago, where digital IDs and fingerprints and all of these kinds of things didn't exist. So it feels like it might have been a little easier to impersonate a pilot, a doctor, and a lawyer than today. So which would be the hardest to fake today, would you say? An airline pilot, a doctor, a lawyer, they'd all be impossible today. What do you think? Do you think he would be able to have gotten away with what he got away with today? But now that I think about it, maybe, maybe somehow, some way. But I want to hear what you have to say. Yeah, I think that an airline pilot, a doctor, a lawyer, airline pilot today, you probably need to have a QR code. None of these hard to fake in some countries. There was a pilot who got away with it for 20 years, but he was not a pilot at all. Okay, for me, airline pilot, okay. Which would be the hardest to fake? So airline pilot would be the hardest to fake. Lorena says, yeah, I wonder with doctor. Like, it's strange because like if you look the part for many things, then I wonder how many times people go and check references. Did that person really go to school there? Are they really reputable? Okay, so far everyone's saying airline pilot. I think they would all be much harder to fake today, but yeah. Still, I'm sure there's people who can get away with it. Okay, we're all going with pilot, I guess. All right. And let me see where we're headed to. Oops. All right. There are also cases of imposters who claim to have been doctors. They've been doctors for just, yeah, see, this is the thing, is that I wonder if all of these to a certain extent per email, right? Because we've all been contacted by that one Nigerian prince who needs a lot of money, right? Everybody's gotten that email. And I would imagine that today via email, maybe it's a little bit easier to impersonate or still not so difficult, let's say. I wonder. Caps lock. No worries. You made your point. Okay, Kermit? Yes, I had at work when I was young, a colleague called me Aaron Brockovich. Oh, that's cool. All right. So you have the gift of the gab, I guess. D, all of them would be impossible today. Okay. Moving on, and this is something that I thought was so cool. Can you believe that in the movie Catch Me If You Can, the real Frank played in the movie. Hey, Juan Carlos, dear, welcome. I could fake to be a doctor or a lawyer just for a few minutes, but not an airline pilot. Okay. For a few minutes, at least for email once, maybe, I don't know. I think that would be an easy route, or somehow with social media. Yeah, I don't know. All right, so we're moving to a trivia question because I want to find out who you think Frank, the real Frank, played in the movie. And let me find my poll question here. Things are all over the place today. And here we go. Trivia question, actually, trivia. And I have my new little, I like this little camera angle. Cameo actor. Exactly, Super Yuki. Exactly. He was a kind of a cameo actor. Yeah. I could, okay, so that was that. It's good to create a secret password for cases like this so you know whose info can be trusted by asking the password. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Because there are some scary things that can happen. Okay. What role does the real Frank Abagnale Jr. play in his cameo in Catch Me If You Can? A, an airline pilot, B, an FBI agent, C, a French policeman, or D, an airport passenger? Who do you think he played? This is just for fun. Some of you have not even seen the film. We have 21 people. Oh, nope, I just jinxed it. We had 21 people here. That was very cool. All right. Airline pilot, FBI agent, French policeman, and airport passenger. B, FBI agent. A, airline pilot. That'd be so funny, right? Actually, all of them are kind of funny. Any other than, I think D is kind of boring, but yeah, it could be though. What do you think? A, B, C, or D? This is just for fun. The real Frank actually played in the movie. Carmen says C. And Carmen is in the know. He played a French policeman, and I have a picture. I'll probably end up going into YouTube hell for showing this, but I thought you would find it fun to see a picture of the real Frank in the movie. I just have to find it. Here we go. So he played a very, very small role. When Leonardo gets captured and caught in France, then he played one of the policemen that took him away. I have to buy the DVD and see the movie to know the answer. That's true. All right. So the answer was C, a French policeman, which is funny because that is where he got busted. That is for real. That is legit. And yeah. All right. Oop. You haven't seen the movie? Okay. Okay. This is a bit of a spoiler here, but you know how it is when I do movies. Even if you've not seen the film, there is something for everyone here. For sure. For sure. Okay. Moving on to some more vocab. I'm pretty sure that we've covered some of these vocabulary words in the past, so this will probably be a bit of a review. I'm curious to see, oh, no, I'm pretty sure that we've never covered these. I would imagine that a lot of these are new as well. So let's take a look. Let's see how many of these words you know. And yeah, oop, everything is backwards today. I'm hoping this is correct. Ugh. And ta-da, good. Yes, exactly. All right, we have the word credentials, to forge, fraud, to scam. And our definitions are like this. Criminal deception done to trick people. B, officially proof of a person's identity, skills, or qualifications. C, to copy or make something illegally, like a document. D, to cheat someone, often get money, to get money. Lesio's fast, he's on the ball. He says 1 is B, credentials. Who agrees with Alessio? 1B. And I'm sure that we've never had any of these words. That's nice when we have topics like this because then it brings in new vocab that is not something that's so much of a repeater. Everyone's going with B. Okay. Official proof of a person's identity, skills, or qualifications. So in this movie, he shows fake credentials. Moving on. All right. Number 2, to forge. To forge. Alessio says C. Kaluna's got a C. Any other guesses? No. That's fine. I'm not bitter. 2C, to forge. So that is correct. To copy or make something illegally, like a document. Number 2 is C. In the movie, Frank forged documents. He forged his credentials, making it look like he had studied at Harvard. He forged bank checks so that he could cash them. He forged a lot of things. And a forgery is a fake document or a signature. Maybe if you have seen art films where they paint a Mona Lisa that's supposed to be from Leonardo da Vinci, then a forgery would be a fake portrait of that, where people are trying to sell it as the real thing. So forgery is not just for documents. You can use this also for anything that someone is trying to pretend is a real thing, but is not a forgery. 3, keeping us on track, and Yuki doesn't know any of these. Maybe this topic is far from our life. Evidently, and how wonderful is that, Yuki? Yes. So Alessio says 3 is A. We have 1B, 2C. Alessio, Lorena, and Kaluna are going with A. Margarita as well. You are correct. Fraud. A. Criminal deception done to trick people. Frank committed a lot of fraud. He was a very fraudulent man. Okay, And last but not least, to scam. To scam. 1 was B, 2 was C, 3 was A, 4 to scam. Thank you, Kaluna. D, to cheat someone, often to get money. That person is a scammer, a person who does these kinds of things, who cheats people. To cheat someone is to scam someone. All right. I figured these would be new words, but you did pretty well. Lots of nice guessing. Hello, Stott, STSD, I47. Welcome to our lesson. 4 is D. You're absolutely correct. And let's see. So I hope that you live in a world like Yuki does and that you will answer no to the following question. But here's my question to you. Has anyone ever tried to scam you? Has anyone ever tried to scam you? Okay, you can say yes, you can say no, you can give me a story, whatever level you want to put this at is, you can't remember is another option. Any way to get you participating. That's what my lessons here are about, is for you to just practice and to explore the language and not be so concerned with things. So Yuki says no. I'm glad. And that shows also that with your level of knowledge of this kind of vocabulary, it's a good thing. No one, well, I can't remember. I'm sure somebody has tried to scam me, but we had a scary situation before where after I had already been separated from my ex-husband, I was visiting my daughter where I used to live. And my ex-parents-in-law called me, panicked, because somebody had called them and said my name. They knew my name, they knew my birth date, they knew my daughter's name, they knew my daughter's birth date. And they said that we had been in a car accident and that they, yes, like online on a phone scam, exactly. And they said that we needed to have money sent to us so that we could be bailed out. And my parents-in-law called me right away and I'm like, no, that didn't happen. Everything's fine. But it was a very scary thing that they knew so much information. And that was probably, I would say, like 8 years ago. So with voice recognition and all of these kinds of things, it's really gotten scary. Serena, yes. Let's see, Yellen, I think you're behind. I think you started later. All right. Yes, online on a phone scam. Okay, same. When I was young, very popular scamming crime. Yes, it is, unfortunately. But Carmen is right. You need to have a code word so that these things can't happen to you. If you have a family code word, which I need to create because we don't really have one. I shouldn't be admitting this. But we don't have one. I need to figure that out. On dating platforms, there are a lot of scammers, okay? It's a good use of that word. In Italy, there are a lot of people who scam to steal money or sell new contracts. And Lorena, I guess that's is that when people call you by phone, call you on the phone and contact people that way? I wonder. Because I think it's easier on the phone than just hang up. If you have no caller ID, it's hard to trace these things. All right. If you're still answering, no problem. I will continue on. But yes, we've had idioms, we've had vocab. So now it is time for phrasal verbs. Let's take a look at some phrasal verbs that will help us to talk about this text scams. Oh yeah, I always get these scams where they say that you have a package that needs to be picked up and click here to be able to find where it needs to be picked up. That's a big one in Germany. That happens not so much in the past, I guess maybe 6 months or so, but for a while it was like almost every other day. It was really annoying. We had that a lot. Okay, and I'm gonna hop over to here. Yes, they call by phone. Okay. So here are some phrasal verbs to go through. Scams are very popular in Italy. It's a nightmare. And I think it's especially a nightmare and is it the kind of scams where it's believable or it's more like, some sort of telemarketing, I'm going to sell you insurance, or here, take this better rate and energy, that kind of thing. So same. Okay, so you don't have it as much anymore, Carmen, as well in Germany, with these people trying to get you to click things. And my instant reaction is I always want to click. To feel that finger going, oh, I want to click it. But I don't. Not so far. When I had just been hired at the bank, and I was working at the teller, a foreigner tried to pass me some I think it's counterfeit banknotes, pretending that they were French francs. Luckily, I was insured. Oh no, okay. Yes, recently someone called me to try to do that. I remembered that he told me that if I get a gift card for him, he will send me some money. I used the scam call to try to improve my English. Oh, Juan Carlos, you're such a rock star. That's so good. I love it. Oh, that's so funny. You scammed the scammer. That's so good. Yeah, they're believable. Oh no. Okay, that's bad. And I was, oops, hold on, this is going too fast. Call to elderly people saying, Mom, it's me. I got a bad cold and my voice is terrible. I lost the company's money and I might lose my job. Will you help me? Ah, that's horrible. A few months ago in Budapest, a man on the street sold me fake money. Street, okay. Actually, I have been scammed many times. Oh no, Yelena. Ah. They scare old people, telling them that an accident has happened and to the family and related to the family, and ask for money to save them. That's exactly what happened to my ex-parents-in-law. And back then they had enough information, my name, my birthday, my daughter's name, her birthday, where you start to go, maybe this is legitimate. And then the second that my parents-in-law said, well, let me call and see if she's okay. That was when they hung up and it was over. But I think a lot of people can get scammed that way. That's horrible. Some people out there, it's ridiculous. Okay. Thank you guys for sharing your stories. Thank you. Our phrasal verbs are as follows. I'm getting it right. Our phrasal verbs are as follows. Turn yourself in, track down, slip through the net or slip through the cracks. I think I have cracks here. I think I took care of one of those. What do I have here? The net cracks. Okay, I did both. Close in on, to close in on. A, to get closer to someone while trying to catch them. B, to find someone or something after searching for a long time. C, to escape being caught or noticed by a system. D, to go to the police and give yourself up. All right. Number one, turn yourself in. What can you tell me is the best definition for this one? What do you think for number one? And I would imagine these are easier to guess, at least. Kaluna, 1D. Yelena, I was a victim of credit card scams too. Oh, Yelena, I'm so sorry. Who agrees with Kaluna? 1D. Serena does. Anybody else? 1. Turn yourself in. Okay, ladies, you're correct. 1 is D. Turn yourself in, to go to the police and give yourself up. So, yeah. And in the movie, Frank tried to do that. He told the policeman, Carmen, I'm sure you remember, you've seen it many times. He said, I am at this hotel in this room, and he tried to give himself up. And the policeman didn't believe him. I found that very interesting because there were several events where Frank tried to be honest in the film and the people didn't want to believe him. I found that very, very human. Sometimes we want to believe things in a certain way and won't accept reality. And that was the case. Okay, what can you tell me about number 2, please? What can you say? Track down. What can you tell me? So Lorena says B. Number 2. Track down. Yeah, he played it. That's so good. Yes. To be Serena, Kaluna, and Lorena, and Yuki says that track down B is correct. To find someone or something after searching for a long time. So the FBI tried to track him down. Number one is D. Yes, you're right, Mohammed. Absolutely. Exactly. What about number three? Slip through the net or slip through the cracks? I think I would use more cracks to slip through the cracks. 2 is B. 1 is D. 2 is B. Kaluna says 3 is C. What can you tell me? Number 3. Who agrees with Kaluna? Lorena does. All right. So yes, Kaluna and Lorena. 3 is C. Slip through the net, slip through the cracks to escape being caught or noticed by the system. I would just say also to escape being caught. And also, like I use this idiom too when I want to make plans with a friend. Like, let's make plans now before it slips through the cracks, meaning that time goes by and it doesn't happen. It just escapes. It just goes away. So you can use this in another way as well. I use it quite often like that. Let's make plans now. I know how it is. It's just going to slip through the cracks and time will go on and we won't see each other for the next 6 months. Another way to use this. Number 4, thank you, Lorena, darling, keeping us on track. Close in on. Close in on. You say the 4 is A, which is correct. To get closer to someone while trying to catch them. So in the movie, Frank was followed by, what's his face? I can't remember, Tom Hanks. I don't remember the character's name. And he was trying to close in on him slowly but surely, getting closer and closer. And he eventually did close in on him. All right. The next question has happened to me before. And yeah, I'm curious to see if this has happened to you as well and how you handled it. Have you ever been accused of doing something you didn't do? How did you handle it? So Carmen, you had a situation that was a little bit like this. But yeah, have you ever been accused of doing something you didn't do? How did you handle it? Thank you, Carl Henrati. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Robin, you've got my back here. Thank you, darling. All right. So have you ever been accused of doing something you didn't do, and how did you handle it? Let me know your story. I can tell you my story. In high school, I drove my best friend to the airport, and she put all of her stuff in my car. And one of the things that she put in my car was a camera. And we were in the car. I mean, it's hard to remember, but we were in the car and there were other people. Her sister was in there and somebody else was in there and my friend. And I think I was driving her to the airport. I was driving her somewhere. It was my car, her stuff, and her stepfather's camera was in my car. And I drove her wherever she needed to go, unloaded everything, and then I was done with the entire situation. Weeks go by, and suddenly I got a phone call from her stepdad, and he was a really scary man. He was so mean. He was such a mean man. And he accused me of stealing his camera. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then explain the day that you took your friend, blah, 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 and all of this. And then he accused me. He did not believe me that I had nothing to do with the disappearance of his camera. So he's like, you're the last person who was in the car or was in your car. And I was accused of this. And he made me pay for that camera, even though I had nothing to do with it. And it was like $400. And this was maybe 1988. That was a lot of money. And so I had to pay for this stupid camera that I never took. I'm still processing this. What do I do? If somebody accuses you of something and back then I didn't really, he was an adult and I was a child or a teen, and it was a horrible situation to be in. Today, I would definitely stand my ground and be like, I didn't take it, you prove it. But yeah, so I had to get a job, and my first, I don't know how many paychecks, probably 20, because it was the 80s and you didn't get paid anything for working in a video store. And I had to pay for that stupid camera. I was so upset. And, it says a lot about that friend. We lost contact, and for good reason, because I'm pretty sure she knew where that camera was, because I sure didn't. And she knew that her stepdad was doing this to me. So, yeah, mean man, terrible people. So this was my best friend at the time and her stepdad. Jesus, what an idiot. That's the thing. How can you prove? Yeah, I couldn't prove it. I couldn't prove it. But I should have been more, more like a lawyer, more of having the gift of the gab and trying to, say, hey, look, I don't know what to tell you. I didn't take your camera. You need to deal with it. It's clearly one of your daughters. Hate to break it to you. Then what did you do? I paid for it. And I remember paying the last bit of money to this man and being like, I just want you to know, I did not take your camera. I'm paying for something that I did not do. But he didn't believe me. I had a teacher, you should have called the police. Yeah, maybe, but you're too scared as a kid, right? It's your friend's dad. I had a teacher who accused me of lying. I said I forgot my English homework on my table at home. He said, no, I lied because I looked to the left. I could not prove it, but said English is my favorite subject. I don't need to lie. Yeah. Oh, Carmen. So then I guess it was a similar situation. You couldn't prove it, so you just took what you got. Oh, it's the worst. I hope nobody's been in a situation like that. But yeah, I wonder today what's the best way of handling something like that, I guess. Yuki, you're saying calling the police. Yeah, it's really not a good feeling to be accused of something you didn't do and then to have to pay for it. Not nice. Anyway, all right. Moving on to a different topic, we have, how about we look, I'm trying to come up with these ways so that I can smoothly segue into the next section, but it's not so smooth. So here we go, take two. How about we look at a list of adjectives that may or may not describe a con man. Remember, we said a con man is a person who takes money from people, he convinces them to give it in an illegal way, in a wrong way. There are no definitions here for this set of slides. So if you see any new words, write them in the comments. Let's do this way. And any new words that you see, write them in the comments. We can help each other out. A lot of you know different vocabulary words. Use this as an exercise to be able to practice your English. Yeah, and if you haven't heard some of these in a while and you want to practice it, you can use them in a sentence. So let's do that this way. Do this that way. Okay, here we go. And I need to hop over to here. If he would accuse me of a crime, I would really get the police involved. Yuki is right. Yeah, I was 16, 17. Yes, he would, but in the gossip way, like people said, I am in a way that I'm not. Okay. So you've been falsely accused, but with people gossiping about you. For everyone who's experienced that, that's really not cool. I'm sorry that you've had that experience. Which of these words are new? I'll go through them. And again, like I said, any of these words you do not know, please simply write them in the comments. If there are words that you feel you've not heard in a while and you want to practice them, use them in a sentence. And then as the third point, we have which of these three words best describe Frank, but let's do that in a second. Let's do this first exercise first. All right, we have reckless, humble, persuasive, gullible, ambitious, lonely, obedient, manipulative, immature, predictable, clever, charming. Okay, so SD, you're saying reckless is new for you, gullible, what does that mean? Okay, let's get a nice little list together. And if anybody wants to write words that they know already, I'm going to put these words on the back of my weekly planner here. We have reckless, gullible. I don't know, reckless. Okay, take 2. And humble. Ooh, good ones. Okay, gullible, take 2. Reckless, not careful. Super, exactly. So reckless, not careful, not cautious. Gullible, number 3, and obedient. Okay. And if you know gullible is new as well, okay, good. This is a good one to know. Really good one to know. Reckless, I think we're good now, right? So I'm going to scratch reckless off of our list. When you do things, you take risks, you don't think about it. Thank you very much, Kaluna, for writing not careful. Exactly. Gullible, a lot of you have had on your list. If anybody wants to write the definition for that, then you're more than welcome to do. Also, obedient was new, it seems. Being reckless means acting in a fast or careless way without thinking about the danger or the bad things that could happen. Exactly. Super Carmen. Gullible, easy to persuade. Exactly. A gullible person believes any and everything. You tell them something, they believe it. They're gullible. Con men love gullible people. People that believe anything, they don't question anything. They're easy to persuade. Kaluna, you're doing a great job. Exactly. Super. We have the word humble. If you know the word humble, then I think that was a new word for someone. I think Lorena, maybe. I don't know. For one of you said humble and obedient. That's my sister. She's gullible. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we all know somebody who's gullible. They believe anything. They fall for everything. It's easy to play a joke on them. They're totally gullible. Right. She is the most gullible person. Okay. All right. And it's a negative thing because people take advantage of gullible people. Gullible can be Jen. Yeah, I guess to a certain extent sometimes. Reckless, gullible, obedient. Those are new ones for you too. So humble. Thank you, Kaluna. We're heading on to humble as well now. Not boastful. Feet always on the ground. Exactly. Someone who doesn't like want the spotlight on them. They do good things, but they don't need to have their name on it. So Jeff Bezos last night in sponsoring the Met Gala for 10 million, name everywhere, not humble. Not humble. If he had done it silently, it would have been a humble gesture. He had done it to really help the Met organization, then he would have been humble. You said you believe everything. Yes, sometimes I'm gullible. Humble is a modest person, also a great way of explaining that. Reckless, gullible, and clever, the first time I've heard. Okay, clever, let's add that to the list. I hope reckless, gullible, and humble are okay now. I hope they are. I'm scratching them off my list. I like doing this. I think this is a fun way of doing vocabulary where we can kind of brainstorm together what you know, what you don't know. Yeah, I kind of like this. I don't know. All right, obedient. Who knows what obedient means? Who can help people out? If not, I will help you out. I would say the best definition, and if you're writing a definition, continue on. I think the more definitions we have for a word, the better. It makes it stick better. Maybe my definition is not good for someone else, and maybe yours is. But obedient is when you tell someone to do something, they do it. Always follows. Exactly, Kaluna, right? Obedient, always follows. Obedient is one person who does what you tell them to do. Exactly, they're obedient. You want your dog to be obedient. Sit. Play dead. You know, so when you do what you're told to do, you are obedient. And clever, who can help Juan Carlos out with clever? What can you tell me? It goes into the direction of being smart. Thank you, Serena. But it's kind of, it's an interest. It's not like book smart necessarily. Obedient, follows the rules. Clever, kind of smart. Yeah, clever, smart. It goes into the direction of being smart, but it's like you take your intelligence and you use it. It's not just learning something. It's more kind of you use that intelligence that you have. That's how I would differentiate it. Smart is negative. No, it's not negative. Smart is positive. I think most people want to be smart. Smart negative means the negative of smart. Aha, sorry, dumb. D-U-M-B. Or unintelligent, you can also say. Dumb. And the B on dumb is not pronounced. Okay, cool. All right, good. So these are some new vocabulary words that we have here, or vocabulary words to refresh our memory here. Which three words best describes Frank, would you say? Reckless, humble, persuasive, gullible, ambitious, lonely, obedient, manipulative, immature, predictable, clever, charming. Clever means being quick to learn, understand, or solve problems. Yes. Thank you, Carmen. That's another great definition. Okay, okay, good. I answered your question. I was a little concerned that I maybe didn't get it right. Yes. Okay, good. Everyone's on the same page. Which three words would you say best describe Frank? What am I going to go with? Okay, I'm going to write mine down. You write yours down. Which three words do you think best describe Frank? Okay, I have 1, 2, 3. I have 3 words. So write your 3 words on from this list right here. Then which of these do you think? Okay, manipulative I have as well, persuasive and charming. Good, exactly. And for those of you who've not seen the film, some of these really don't make a lot of sense, perhaps, like gullible, definitely not. Frank is reckless, ambitious, manipulative, clever, charming, smart, intelligent, clever, ambitious, manipulative, and charming. Oh, sorry, that doesn't matter. You can add as many as you like. Reckless, manipulative, and clever. Okay, cool. All right. That was kind of fun. I hope you'll enjoy that type of style of learning. I love this opportunity to give you the chance of finding vocab that is new and then giving others the chance to teaching others as well. Love that. Clever, lonely, reckless, probably was lonely. Yeah, I think he was. Clever, persuasive, manipulative, and 3 words. Frank Jr. is manipulative, clever, and charming. All right, fantastic, guys. Moving on to, we have a nice little banner question, and I'm sure you have heard this before. You've heard people say, fake it till you make it. Maybe you haven't. I'm guessing you have. Fake it till you make it. And let me see. I think we need number 4. Yes. Okay, there we go. Number 4, fake it till you make it. You've probably heard the expression, fake it till you make it. Have you ever acted more confident than you really felt? And how did it go? What can you tell me? Fake it till you make it. Have you ever acted more confident than you really felt? And how did it go? Every time I go live, I act like I feel more confident than I really am. This is very much not my space. This puts me out of my comfort zone pretty much every time. I don't like to be in front of a camera, but I'm here because I love being here with y'all. He is also confident and a master imposter. And yeah, I'm gonna learn that soon. Impersonator too. Reckless, immature, persuasive, manipulative. He's kind of everything on that list at the end of the day, except for maybe gullible. Yeah. Is immature, maybe immature. One can argue that that guy was maybe a narcissist. I think so. I think so. Okay, so no, not at all. Yuki says, no, not at all. Is that with the expression, or have you ever acted more confidently than you actually felt on stage? Okay, it was always connected with nervousness, but I felt great while doing it. The first couple of minutes, Carmen, were you massively nervous? And then the longer you were there, then it felt a little bit better. Maybe that's why I hate hellos in the beginning of live streams and goodbyes. That's always for me like the critical part somehow. I don't always have confidence. Yeah. I think nobody always has confidence. It's hard to have a lot of confidence. And especially if you put yourself out there, then sometimes it can be very sort of daunting, I would say. All right. Anybody else have anything else they would like to share? And a situation where you faked it? A lot of times people say this. I'm not so crazy about this idea of faking it till you make it. I think being humble, being grounded, being humble, and having a little humility, and you show when you're scared sometimes, and you tell people, I'm a little nervous or I'm not feeling okay. I think there's something better than faking it. Like I'm pretending that I am confident right now. There's something that's a disconnect for me. It's a very American thing to say, fake it till you make it, and to kind of follow that thing. But something about it doesn't sit right with me. When I want to face my fears, okay, I always show my fear. I do too. I'm like, you know what? We're all in this life together. You know, I mean, we're all scared sometimes. We all feel good sometimes. We all feel bad sometimes. We all feel like sometimes we have a good hair day or a bad hair day, or don't like certain aspects of ourselves. So during interviews for a new job, right, a lot of people do this fake it till you make it. In job interviews, many times, I always show my emotions when I'm not on stage. Everywhere, I also cry in public. Just be human, right? You know, I'm going to put that up there. Just be human, folks. Just be human. I love that. Oh, but wait, there is something I always act opposite. Oh, really? What? You have a nice little cliffhanger here for us. All right. What is it? Okay, you've not written. You're still writing, I guess. Next up, we have our last slide for idioms today. Let me remove our old one, add our new idiom slide, and let's take a look. Maybe these will be ones that you do know. I think that some of these you do know. Yeah. Let's see. And here is our slide. And I need to hop over to here, and I'm probably going to have to go small. I don't know what happened to my idiom slide. Okay. Anyway, that got really stretched out. On exams, okay. In an interview, we have no control. So it's easy to feel afraid. Right. Okay. Here are some idioms. To live a lie, look the part, get away with something, and live a double life. We have definitions as follows. A, to secretly live as two different people. B, to do something wrong and not be punished. C, to seem like the right person for the role or job. D, to live in a way that is not true to who you really are. So we can start with number one, to live a lie. Which one works best? When someone asks me, are you okay? My default answer is yes, I'm fine. I think that you have the same in the States, Yuki, as well, right? Where people just say, oh yeah, everything's great. I'm wonderful. Ooh, I'm amazing. It's fantastic. But sometimes we don't want to get into it, right? I hear you with that one. All right, Kaluna says 1B question mark. Lorena is more confident, 1D. We have 1A. Okay, good. All right, this is very mixed. So let's see. To live a lie. D. Okay, we have 2 D's, 1 B, 1 A. Any other guesses? To live a lie. I do not recommend this as a lifestyle. Most definitely not. All right, 1, for those of you who guessed D, you are correct. To live a lie. Live in a way that is not true to who you really are. Many people live in a lie, maybe a marriage that's not very happy or in a job that doesn't suit them. In a way, it's kind of like living a lie, where you live in a way that's really not true to who you really are. Number 2, look the part. What can you tell me? Look the part. Margarita, you're right. Number 1 is D. Serena saying 2 is C. Who agrees with Serena? To look the part. Any guesses? C question mark? Okay. Serena Kaluna, you are correct. 2 is C. Look the part. To seem like the right person for the right job, role or job, you have to look the part. So in the case with Frank, he looked the part. He looked like a pilot. He looked like a doctor. He looked the part. So people believed him. And that's how he got away with so much stuff. And this is where I think sometimes with humans, we see someone, if they're attractive, if they look a certain way, they look the part, then they can get away with more than what other people can. Number 3, what can you tell me? Thank you everyone for all of your guesses. Number 3, get away with something. To get away with something. 1 was D, 2 is C, 3 to get away with something. Lorena and Serena and Kaluna, you're all saying B, to get away with something, B, to do something wrong and to not be punished. Earlier, I told you about my friend who convinced the policeman that he had to go to the bathroom, and he got away with it. He got away with not getting the ticket. He got away with it. And last but not least, to live a double life. 1D, 2C, 3B, 4 is A. Okay, 4 is A, to live a life, live a double life. For A, to secretly live as 2 different people. That's freaky, right? You hear stories about that, and see movies about that, where people live a double life. You think of a serial killer where during the day, all the neighbors say, he was a really nice guy. And in the evening, ugh. Okay, so to live a double life, or maybe someone pretends that they're married and then in another town they have another family. That's living a double life. All right, we have another trivia question prepared here. Let me remove this and pull up our trivia. And let's see. Okay, and I need to go to my new little box. Boop. And here we go. According to Frank's website, I checked out his website. I was very curious. If you look up his website, it looks so, he looks like a con artist. It really does. He has like these sort of this fake sort of diploma looking border around everything. I don't know. It's hard to think that a tiger can change its stripes. I don't believe that so much, but okay. Anyway, according to Frank's website, what helped him set him on the right path? A, working with the FBI. B, starting a family with someone who believed in him. C, going back to school. Or D, writing a book. What do you think? Yuki, you say A, working with the FBI. What set him on the right path? Lorena says A. Okay, we have an H. Welcome to our lesson, by the way. A, D, A. Okay. The answer, which I think actually A totally makes sense, especially if you saw the movie. But the answer is supposed to be B, starting a family with someone who believes in him. This is according to his website. that he said this. And for me, it's really hard to imagine someone with a criminal past as serious as Frank's to completely change. I find that hard. Do you believe that people can really turn over a new leaf? Can you think of a time when you or someone you knew changed in a big way? The answer is actually B, starting a family with someone who believed in him. That's what it says on his website that I checked out. Do you think that people can change? I mean, like when I see Frank's website, I'm kind of like, he's still kind of the same old, and trying to make it look grander maybe than it actually is. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not so sure about Frank. Okay, Serena, you're way more optimistic. You're saying, yes, people can change. They can turn over a new leaf. Who could believe him after a manipulative person cannot change? I think I would imagine you would need, I don't know the amount of therapy one would need in order to change that kind of personality. That would take a lot of work, I would think, to be so manipulative. Yeah. Okay, so STSD, you're also saying, I believe people can change. People can change. I believe people can change completely, yes, but it depends on the level of narcissism. If that makes sense, it does make sense. The level of narcissism and how honest they can be with themselves, I think, how much therapy they're open to. I don't know. I'm not an optimistic person with that, Yuki says. Okay. Kaluna, I think some people change, especially if some life-changing situation happens. So it could depend on the situation then. All right. Yelena, you're saying A, working with the FBI. I think you're a little behind us, maybe, I don't know, but it's actually B, starting family with someone who believed in him. At least that was according to his website. All right. Moving on to our next point, don't change completely. Yeah, because we have this idiom in the States that we say a lot. A tiger cannot change its stripes, and there's some truth to that. You know, I would like to be optimistic and say, sure, people can change, and maybe to a certain degree, but it takes a lot of work, and most people are not really up for doing the work. It's too difficult sometimes. Which leads us to question if a murderer can change. Yes, we always change. Okay, Juan Carlos, you're more optimistic. He had psychological problems. Yeah, I think so too. I think Frank had massive psychological problems. Okay, yeah. All right, moving on to our next point here. And Catch Me If You Can takes place between, here we have the years, between 1963 to 1969. It was another world back then, right? We didn't have digital QR codes and retinal readers, and we didn't have a lot of things back then that we have nowadays, where technology is way more advanced. Let's brainstorm this question, okay? It's kind of scary though. Hang in there with me, please. Hang in there. So, how would Frank scam people in 2026? What do you think Frank would do if Frank was up to his old tricks in 2026? He's a young man. Let's move this movie to 2026. What would he do to scam people? Okay. I don't know what one means. I'm sorry, Carmen. What does that mean? How would Frank scam people in 2026? We talked a bit about it with emails, perhaps, pretending to be a prince from Nigeria. Yeah, there's a comedian, a British comedian, so funny. I don't know if you have seen him, but he takes these emails, these ridiculous emails that people receive about being a prince from Nigeria and needing money, and he writes them back. And he gets them all excited, thinking that they have someone in their grips. And yeah, I need to see if I can find that comedian. Maybe if I can, I will try to send a link in that private group on Instagram, the members group thing, because I don't know, comedian about scammer. Okay. Befriend someone on social media, catfishing, good one. Maybe with AI, definite possibility. True, by pretending to be AI or giving you the answers he wants, definitely. So AI deepfakes, definitely. Social media, maybe a fake profile. Crypto scams, that kind of thing. There would be lots of different sorts of things nowadays that would be, I guess, way more high tech that a scammer would use. All right, oops, there's my mouse. Moving on to our next point. This is, so like I said, oh, he would steal data info, stock investment fraud. Yeah, the list goes on and on, right? Okay, for example, Frank changes in a way that he adapts to a new way of scamming. Yeah, yeah, but he didn't really, the tiger didn't change his stripes, he just changed his pattern of it, if you will. I don't know, he nuanced the color somehow. I don't know. All right. So Frank admits, because in 2000, I guess 2002, I want to say, a journalist researched Frank's book, his best-selling book, Catch Me If You Can. He researched it to look to see how much of the information in Frank's book was real. Not a lot, I think. And so now I have a nice little true or false quiz for you. The real Frank later admitted that parts of his story were invented. And so this is to test what you think are the parts that were real and which parts were fake. All right. And I need to hop over to here, I think. Romance scams. Oh, it's so horrible. Yes. Lots of horrible things like that. Okay, we have number 1 here. Frank Abagnale Jr. impersonated a pilot, a doctor, and a lawyer for several years each. And that's kind of how the movie portrays it. So this is how the movie portrays everything. And let's see what is truth and what is fiction. Carmen, this is your time to shine. I know you love this movie. Let's see how much you know. So in the movie, we have Frank Abagnale Jr. impersonated a pilot, a doctor, a lawyer for several years each. Is this true or false in real life? Some of these are true, and some of these are just part of the movie to make the story more interesting. Yuki says true. He did this for several years. All right. Any other answers? True or false? He impersonated, he pretended to be. Okay, Serena says true. Any other guesses? Okay, so everyone says true. I need a little buzzer here. True guessing, haven't seen the movie. Okay, no worries. That's actually false. He admitted the long-term impersonations were exaggerated. It was more like days and not years. Yeah. I know a person who was a major, but in the evening he wore women's clothes and high heels. The police caught him. He was driving fast and realized that she was actually a he. He divorced, changed gender. Well, at least the truth was able to come out for him. I think that's a good thing for him. He was able to live his true life, to not live a lie. The man was living a lie, the woman was living a lie, and now they can live as they wish. I see. I think they had problems with finding the proof, but I believed him. Yes. No, I think he's admitted this, Carmen. Not years, but days. Exactly. Exactly. Okay, number 2. Abagnale was arrested in France. Is this true or false? And I kind of gave this away earlier, but True or false? He was arrested in France. Yuki, who has not seen the film, is guessing true. Kaluna, true. Not seen the film. All right. True, true, question mark, true. Exactly. Number 2 is true. He was caught in I'm going to kill this word if I have any Frenchies out there. I'm sorry about that. Montpellier in 1969 and spent 3 months in a French prison. So 3 months in a French prison, and also he spent time in a Swedish prison because he did some sort of con act in Sweden as well. I have no idea what he did. All right, number 3, we have Abagnale was in prison during the years he claims to have committed his most famous crimes. Okay, Abagnale was in prison during the years he claims to have been committing his most famous crimes. What can you tell me? So we have false from Serena. Any other guesses here? False from Serena. If we have anybody in the audience who doesn't follow us, then please feel free to do so. I'm here every week to offer you English lessons, and it's always varied and rich with content. And I just lost 2 people. Anyway, all right, so 3, we have some falses, we have some trues. Okay, the answer is true. Records show he was in the Great Meadow Prison in New York from ages 17 to 20. He was so young when he committed these crimes. So young, 17 to 20. All right, moving on to number 4, the FBI agent Carl Henratty in the film is a real person. The FBI agent Carl Henratty in the film is a real person. You think so? I think that, I don't know, Yelena, if that's for number 4. True. Kalina's like, I don't know. True. False, but I love him. Okay, it's true. That is correct. It is false. He's a fictional character. The real agent was named Joseph Shea. Joseph Shea was the real character. Number 5, Abagnale taught sociology at a university for 2 full semesters. So he was a college professor for 2 full semesters. He taught sociology. Should have taught psychology. If the answer is true. Do you think this is false or true? True or false? What can you tell me? Serena says false. Carmen, have you read his book? Have you read the book? I'm curious about that. True, true. Okay. False, true. The answer is false. I guess in the book, they show that he says that he was a sociology professor at a university, but when challenged, he backed down and admitted that maybe he had only been a guest lecturer. So not a professor, more of a guest lecturer. And yeah. Oh, you read the book. Okay, Carmen. Oh, that's cool. That's great then. Then you know everything. All right. Then let's see. Number 6, Abagnale was extradited to the United States after his arrest in Europe. So extradited means he's a criminal. He committed a crime in one country, but actually he is a resident, or he has a passport in another country. When you move a prisoner from one country to the next, you extradite them. But it was some years ago. Okay, should reread. I wonder if the book is as good as the film. Can you tell me that? Or better? It's usually the book is better. It's hard to imagine that the book was better than the film. All right, everyone's guessing. We have 6 true. And that is correct, exactly. He was extradited from Sweden because at some point he went from France to the prison system in France to the prison system in Sweden, then deported back to the United States. 2 years in France and then the US. Thank you, Serena. All right, Number 7, Abagnale was on the FBI's 10 most wanted list as a teenager. It was pretty good. Yes, I loved both the movie and the book. Okay. That says a lot because usually the book is way better than the movie. 7, Yuki is saying is true. Any other guesses for number 7? Lorena says true. All right. The answer is actually false. Carmen, you know all the answers. He claimed this publicly for years. So he claimed for years, he said, as a teen, I was on the FBI most wanted list, but there was no evidence that ever supported it. So it's another one of these things where Frank is a little bit flexible with the truth. No, you should participate. You absolutely should. This is your time to shine, sweetie. Absolutely. Number 8, the real Frank Abagnale did commit check fraud. What can you tell me? 8 is true. Any other guesses? For number 8, true. Carmen. Let's go with Carmen. she's our expert. Okay, so that part is absolutely true. It is documented. However, in the movie, it's millions that I think it was like 14 million or so. Carmen, please help me. Fact check me here. I don't know, but it was like 14 million that was supposedly taken throughout his time as a criminal. But it was really a really small scale check forgery. It was more like $1,500. It was not a lot of money. So this big luxurious life is a big exaggeration. Almost everything else is questionable. So whether he was a lawyer or a doctor, or all of these things. So yeah, it's kind of funny how he really stretched the truth and seemed to. Anyway, good night, sweetie. Sleep tight, Yuki, darling. All right. Frank was the ultimate con man. So I got curious about the word con man because I thought that's so interesting. It sounds so weird. Where does that come from? What does that mean? And I have a nice little trivia question about the origins of con man. Let me find that for us. It is here. Okay, and I need to move to my new little spot. Wait, where's my new slide? That one. Boop. Okay. I like this. I like this position. It's kind of fun. All right. Did you know the word con in con man comes from a longer word? What is it and what does it mean? See you next week, sweetie. Good night, darling. What can you tell me? It was about 2 million, if I remember correctly, but would have to look it up. No worries. It was millions, way more than he actually stole in real life. He exaggerated. All right. Serena's got our first guest, conspiracy. So we have control, we have confidence, we have convince, and conspiracy. What can you tell me? Serena says D, conspiracy. The con in con man comes from what? Lorena B, confidence. All right. We have a D, we have a B. Do we have any other guesses? This is totally just a situation to play. If you know this already, wow. Confidence, okay. Contract, or do you mean control? I'm not sure. Contact, contact. Well, control, confidence, convince, or conspiracy. One of these is the correct one. For con man. And then there's a bit of a funny story. Okay, so the answer is B, confidence. So the con in con man is short for confidence, as in confidence man. Someone who gains your confidence, someone who gains your trust before cheating you. The term first appeared in the United States in 1849 after a famous con artist named William Thompson was arrested in New York City. His scam was surprisingly simple. He would approach well-dressed strangers, act friendly as if they already knew each other, and then ask like, have you confidence in me to trust me with your watch until tomorrow? Have you confidence in me to trust me with your watch? Or have you confidence in me to trust me with your $20 bill? I don't know. If the victim said yes and handed it over, Thompson disappeared with it. A newspaper called him the confidence man, and the phrase struck. So to gain someone's confidence is to gain someone's trust. And con man is a man who can gain confidence from someone else, can gain the trust of someone else, and then be able to scam them. And I thought that was kind of cool. I like that sometimes when we have these meanings of words and where they come from. And that was our little trivia question. Moving on to our last section for today. And let me pop this here. And everything we've talked about today, Frank's story, the psychology, the vocabulary, we've talked a lot about lots of different things. Aha, Thompson was a clever thief. Yes, he was. I mean, pretty bold, right? Do you trust me with your watch? Anyway, yeah, we've talked about a lot of stuff. Our last question today, and we talked about this a little bit with how to spot a liar. I wonder if we're going to have similar answers, but how do you spot a con man? What are the signs? And yeah, have you ever been fooled by anyone? And I thought this was kind of interesting to learn. Con men don't target stupid people. They target trusting people. They target the gullible, the word we used earlier, that we learned earlier, someone who trusts someone easily. They target trusting people, they target gullible people, and they exploit very human instincts, the desire to be liked, the fear of missing out, and the tendency to trust someone who looks and sounds confident. So con man is going for someone that will believe things easily, who they can sense wants to be liked, fear like they're missing out, and someone who trusts someone because they look good, they look the part, like we learned earlier today. So what are some things that a con man does to con people? Our last question of the day. How would you spot a con man? What are the signs? Have you ever been fooled by someone? We kind of answered that earlier, but I think this is kind of interesting so that we have a little protection here at the end of our lesson. Sweet talker. Ooh, I like that one. A sweet talker, a smooth talker, a sweet talker. They're smart. The first thing that I have on my list is they create urgency. You have to decide now. This offer expires tonight, which kind of kills critical thinking, and people think they have to react fast in order to not miss out. So they fear missing out on a good deal. This is what con men use a lot. They create urgency, the need that something needs to happen right now. They create an intense emotional bond. That's a really good one too, right? Quickly and fast. Like in the movie, Frank always asks for the person's name and instantly uses it. Everyone loves to hear their name, right? And he knows that, and he capitalizes on that. And he instantly says, oh, Deborah, or oh, Darcy, or whatever the name was, and capitalizes on that and makes them feel heard and creates a bond instantly. So dangerous because it's a good mask. Definitely. People feel heard, they feel seen. It creates an automatic sort of emotional connection with someone. All right. They're too charming too quickly. Real trust takes time. If someone feels like your best friend within an hour, pause. Unless it's me, because I am that kind of person. I love hearing people's stories. I love being there for people. So my kids always make jokes about me because everywhere we go, I make a lot of friends. People tell me the craziest things. So I'm not a con man or a con woman. But usually this is a negative thing. Usually people use this to their advantage and to not your benefit. That warmth is often manufactured. Too much perfection, too much charm, definitely. Definitely, definitely. They tell you what you want to hear, right? A good con man reads you fast and mirrors your values, your language and dreams, your dreams back at you. If they see that you're feeling lonely, they will make you feel connected. If they feel that you don't feel confident about yourself, they'll make you feel confident. They will find your weakness and play on it in a positive way. Unfortunately, I'm often prejudiced these days and tend to think there's always a trick behind it. I'm very suspicious. I get that. Too good to be true stories. Definitely. Super Kaluna. Yeah, I fell for it. Oh, Sweetie describes my ex so perfectly. Oh, I'm sorry. Oof. Okay, but you live, you learn, right? I'm sorry you had to live through it, but hopefully you've learned from it and that won't happen to you again. Another one that's a good one, their story keeps shifting slightly. So it's not always the same story, right? Small inconsistencies, they smooth over confidently. Liars are good at recovering from cracks that appear if you pay attention. So small little, yes, last time it was 5 and now it's 10. And yesterday it was blue and now it's red. Little changes that don't really make sense can be a sign that someone might be a con man. You also might be a con man. This is such a good one. If they say, don't tell your family or your friends won't understand because isolation is something they want. Big red flag, right? They try to keep you away from the people who could keep you away from them. Mega, mega red flag. Yeah, so those are some of the ones that I had on my list. I think that it's interesting. They appeal to authority or exclusivity. They have fake credentials. They do a lot of name dropping. This is a super expression. I don't know if you know this, but name dropping is when someone's like, oh yeah, I met Bruce Springsteen, or oh yes, you use names, big names, influential names, when you want to be able to impress people. And the term is called name dropping. They do a lot of name dropping. Let's show you that one. Name dropping, to try to make themselves feel bigger than they perhaps are. Yeah, they isolate you from everyone, so you're a greater target. You're emotionally dependent on them. Definitely. You must escape from those men immediately. I wholeheartedly agree. But I think it's kind of nice to end our lesson today on protecting ourselves from such scam artists. And yeah, if you have anything else that you would like to add, please do so. If you don't mind, I would be very grateful. Doorbell, sorry. I'd be very grateful if you could like this video. That really helps to share with the algorithm that we exist out here and that this is actually a good place. If you don't already follow this account, then highly recommend it. We're here every single week. And English with Jen 123. That is our account that we are here. I'm here twice a week, actually, on Tuesdays with a quiz and on Wednesdays with a complete lesson like you've just experienced. I hope you've learned something. I hope you had a nice time. I sure have. Trying to get rid of one of these banners. There we go. Anyway, Have a wonderful week. Next topic. Hold on. There's my book. Next topic next week is we are in May. Old wives' tales. So when your mom tells you you can't go swimming 30 minutes after you eat. These kinds of things. So you could already be thinking about old wives' tales. Tales as in story, old wives' stories. So I think we'll have fun with that. It's kind of just like a little bit like folklore. And yeah, that will be our topic next week that we will cover. Probably, I would imagine, like 10 old wives' tales and where they come from and what they mean, what they do. I'm glad you enjoyed this lesson. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Will be great for stories. I think so too. I think it'll be fun. Some of these things are really funny. I shared some with my kids and they're like, yeah, I used to say that. It's crazy. If you watch television too close, your eyes will become square. You know, who comes up with this stuff? But it gets passed down. Anyway, take care. Have a wonderful week. I appreciate you spending, oh my gosh, 2 hours with me. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.